everybody. Randy Patterson here again with Boomerocity. Thanks for joining. And got a question for you. Remember about a year or so ago, I interviewed the 60s and early 70s brother-sister group, the Cowsills? Well, one of the brothers was not on there, and that was John Cowsill. What do you think the Cowsills and the Bangles, remember the Bangles from the 80s? What do you think they have in common? Well, the only thing that they have in common is, not the only thing, but the big thing they have in common is John Cowsill is married to Vicki Peterson of the Bangles. And you can see them behind me here on this album cover. And they have put out a couple songs with an album coming out in April that is absolutely astounding. It's great rock and roll as well as Americana type music, and I just fell in love with it immediately. And in interviewing them, as you'll see in this video that you're about to watch, I fell in love with them too. They're just a warm, lovely, friendly, funny couple. He laughs so much during this call, and they exude enthusiasm and love for each other and love for their fans. And so we talk about this song, we talk about the album, the story behind it, which involves John's late brother, Barry, who's no longer with us. And one of the great songs on there is a song written by Barry, but was never recorded. And you'll hear us talk about that. And as always, if you don't mind, would you hit like if you enjoyed this interview? And if you like some of the other interviews as well as this interview, please hit subscribe. It's not going to cost you anything, but it helps us out tremendously. And of course, feel free to share it with others that you know who are fans of the Cowsills or fans of the Bangles or Americana fans or just good old classic rock and roll fans. All of them will enjoy this interview. So without any further ado, here is my first of what I hope are a lot more interviews to come with Vicki Peterson and John Cowsill. Until next time, this is Randy Patterson with Boomerocity. Take care. That's what I always say.
We're in prison, as you can tell.
Yes. We're in reverse prison. They keep the bars behind us.
Well, where are you guys dialing in from?
Santa Monica Mountains, our kitchen, from our kitchen table.
All right, cool. I'm in the Smoky Mountains of East Tennessee, and there's actually, as I speak, I know this will be near and dear to your guys' hearts. There's a fire over in Gatlinburg on the other side of the mountain from me. So we've had 2 or 3 this week with high winds and all that, and it's over in Gatlinburg. I'm in Sevierville, about 2 miles from the Dollywood Park. And nice. So I don't think I'll get an evacuation notice during this call, but in the unlikely event I do, you can completely understand, I'm sure.
We absolutely understand.
Totally.
Just get ready to go.
Did the fire get near you guys?
Very near.
100 feet away.
Yeah, very near.
No way.
We were the last neighborhood. All the bulldozer tracks are on the street where they cut a line up here in our backyard. We live in the mountains, so
yeah, they made a fire
line
that held. Thank God.
Yeah, well, they line there. This was the last. So we had Gilter's survival.
Yeah,
and have friends who've lost their homes, and you still can't go down PCH. It's still closed. You need to pass
Pacific
to get
Coast
in.
Highway. Yeah.
Well,
anyway,
I'm glad you guys are okay, and
we're happy too.
And the bonus is you got to keep your property too, so that's even more so. But hey, first of all, thank you both for joining me. It's thank you for all the years of great music too. John, I had the privilege of interviewing your siblings a little over a year ago, and a lot of fun with them. And Vicki, of course,
I'm sure.
Music
you survived.
Yeah, we did a lot of laughing. So,
I'm sure.
But man, I appreciate you guys taking the time to chat with me, and I love this new song I've heard. Man, this is a lot of fun. Tell me the story behind the song and behind the album.
Which song are you referring to? Come to Me or 1,000 Times? We've had 2 put out.
2 singles.
Yeah, Come to Me. Come to Me.
That's the latest one. Okay,
that's the most recent one.
That's a Barry song. That's my brother Barry wrote that song.
Barry Cowsill.
Barry Cowsill and Vicki sang that one, and a fabulous job.
we always had known about that, but we didn't have any recording. Barry never recorded it himself, so we didn't have a reference of him doing it. We had a cassette version that
I can tell that story because I remember being at a friend's house, Baron Bernard, who lived in Hancock Park, and Barry was staying on his couch in the house there. And so downstairs, he had a little rehearsal room in the cellar. And my friend Randall and I went over there and started working on this song. And Barry's playing a Gretchen. He's really into this new thing he's doing with the whammy bar. So, you know, and so we put a set together, and then we went to the Troubadour in Los Angeles here on a Monday night.
Which is the Hootenanny night.
Yeah. And well, and it was just, we went there and nobody showed up. Literally, there were like 12 people in the place to listen to us. And I think they were the help. And we called ourselves Shopping Spree. So Randall Kirsch, a friend of mine, he was playing bass, and he brought a shopping cart up there and a hot plate and made scrambled eggs while we were doing the set. That really pissed my brother Barry off to no end. And I just kind of watched this thing, but nobody was there. So what did it matter? And we did this song, Come to Me. And it's a real rough version. I still have that version. And so we tried a couple of things with it, I remember, but we just didn't know what to do with it. And then it was not until our producer, Paul Allen, who produced the album, sent us what he thought it should sound like. And he came up with that beautiful arrangement, that everything, he came up with it all. I mean, the sound of it, the atmosphere he put around that, and you helped with that too, you know, you know, because you were giving me shit about what I was playing, and that you guys fixed that. But it just came. It's one of the most beautiful tracks on the album, as far as I'm concerned. It's just so special and emotionally charged, and Vicki did a great job with the lead on that, and.
That's fun. My favorite part is when it leaves this beautiful romantic moment
and goes into,
and all of a sudden you're in a 70s rock band.
Well, you know, but that move is the summation of the song. You know, it's like, and now here I am. You know, it's hard to see the same.
I'm trying to.
So it's fitting that vibe, that feeling. It's not just 70s rock. It's meaningful 70s rock.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
and, Barry was someone who was always trying to get things together, and he struggled. He struggled a lot in his life, in his later life. But that bridge, the lyrics, how hard it is to get it together, basically, and that's what he's saying. He's like, I'm trying. You may not see it. I'm working on it. You may not see it, but I'm working on it. And that's sincere, and so I think about him every time we go to that bridge.
I do too. Yeah. I think about him every time we do the song.
Well, it seems, I mean, I'm not a songwriter. If I did it, it'd be like Itsy Bitsy Spider or something. But, to listen to a well-written song, to hear the story behind it, always seems like it's born out of something that has hit the writer's heart very heavily, or often, as you know, conflict or broken hearts or whatever. And I mean, it really comes through on this song. And it's the fact that you captured Barry's essence of it. I mean, that speaks a lot about you two, but the song itself is amazing.
Yeah, it is. Beautiful. And I think those are the best songs. I agree with you. The ones that you can tell hit the writer in an emotional place, or even even if it's just observational,
even a funny place,
or a funny place, even if it's just observational, but something that they are really experiencing, and then translating for us listeners.
Barry has a song called "My Car Don't Lock," and it is the funniest thing. It's a rock tune, and it is the. I don't know what to say.
He's a pretty funny guy.
He's a funny guy, and he's a very sensitive guy.
Soulful human.
Very sensitive.
When he was here,
I mean, so it's loving to be able to represent their music. My brother Bill and Barry, who wrote songs, and they had a hard time in the world.
Yeah, making their own lives work.
They spoke through their songs, really.
Yeah.
And you got to see them there. So
well, just
them, we feel that and we see that.
Yeah. Well, having watched the documentary on your family, John, that I can sense what you're talking about there. I can't fully appreciate it because I wasn't there, and my life was different. But gosh, I mean, all of you, you guys,
survivors of the bad family.
Well, yeah, and just the hard luck on things and all that. But yet, you still made an indelible mark.
Yeah,
on the soundtrack of my youth, and same with you, Vicki. I mean, gosh, to come from where you've come from with the Bangles and all that. How does this feel working on this kind of music versus from your Bangles days?
This is very personal, as you said. This is a very intimate project in a lot of ways. Obviously, I'm working with my husband for the first time. We started this project 4 years ago, but talked about it for maybe 10, and we've been married for 23 years and
Wow.
23 years. But this is the first time, other than working with the Action Skulls, which is another fantastic project we have with our friend Bill Mooney. And that was the first time we actually made music together. But to do this as a duo and to perform as a duo, completely new. Like we say, we are the oldest baby band you'll ever know, because we're just starting really on this. We're just starting out.
We're, like Vicki always says, we're serial band members.
Yeah,
I've always been somebody's drummer. I'm always somebody's piano player. I'm always somebody's singer. I'm not really a featured artist. I sang a few songs with the Beach Boys lead on. I sang a couple of songs with the Cowsills lead on. So to be the focal point of a unit is just a different feeling. It's kind of cool, but kind of no, it's just cool. It's fun. Cool. It's fun to do, to be able to sing, because I've wanted to be a singer for so long, and I am a singer, but I never got to sing anything. Not a big writer. I didn't start writing until Action Skulls started, and they got me into it, and I felt like cool, like I was part of something. I didn't have that with the Cowsills because it was already a moving machine, and it was Bob and Bill. Mm-hmm. And then Barry wrote songs and Paul wrote songs with Bob during the period, and I never got in there. I just was always goofing around, looking in the mirror, making faces. So
there you go.
Just trying to make people laugh all the time. That I spent my life making people laugh, so maybe I don't know.
Well, but working together, you mentioned about Barry sleeping on a friend's couch. I mean, with you two working together, John, have you had to wind up sleeping on the couch over disagreements working on this?
No. And I can see,
question.
I can see where people would think that. Vicki and I believe, have both been in relationships that were not nice. Just, for some reason, just with the wrong person, and where they're hurling swear words, insults, and things, and it's like,
or guitars.
I don't know. This is my friend.
Yeah.
She's the nicest person in the whole world, and she's my lover, my girlfriend, my friend, my sister. She's where everything, and like I say, this has been the only relationship and the only person I know who I look forward to walking through the front door to get home. So working together is a dream. I mean, we're both control freaks. We shit. I know when shit's gone wrong, because she'll sit there and she'll go, and I go, uh-oh, I went over the borderline. No, I'm the hot-handed. Yeah. I'm the hot handle in the room. I'm the guy. But I calm down really quick.
You do.
But I'm very emotional. I wear it on my sleeve. And like, if there's anybody who's the AH in the house, it's me.
We really had to go through a little learning curve, I'll say, to
Tell
work
them
together.
About this sign.
Because we've been married for a long time. John was on the road for most of that time, to be honest. So when he left the Beach Boys and we were living together in New York in a tiny apartment, and like we decided to embark on this project, which had us singing and playing together. John switching to guitar from being on drums, which is like his natural, you could do it in his literally. And guitar was a learning thing for him and for me, and remember learning how to work together, how to collaborate on things, kind of new stuff in a lot of ways for John especially, but also
yeah, because I get impatient. I want it real quick. No, it goes like this. It goes like this.
Yeah, he wants
and she'll go. Could you just let me figure it out myself? Like I'm trying to make everything go quicker. And so I sat down, I got a piece of paper and a pen, and as hard as I could write it down like a pissed off guy at myself. Don't be mean. Be calm. Don't. And I put it out on the table every time we rehearse to remind myself, be patient, because it's much more fun that way. But we do get along well. And we knew that during COVID.
In the lockdown.
Because we hadn't spent that much time in a long time. And we were just in the house and we had the best time, and we recorded a lot with the Action Skulls then.
Yeah.
And so we just kind of worked in the studio and made food and stuff. And we just get along so fabulously. It's a mutual respect, really, and letting the person be that who you are.
Yeah.
And thank God they like you for who you are.
You guys should do relationship seminars. That's that.
Oh God, no.
If this music thing doesn't work out for you that you guys are trying out, try relationship seminars. So, hey, on this Action Skulls thing, I didn't realize you guys were working with Bill Mooney. I've been dying to interview him for years. Let's do an interview with the whole band. All right.
Absolutely.
Yes, we can do that.
Absolutely.
I would love to do that and get you guys all together. One of you would take Patty's place there on the screen, but yeah. But yeah, I think it'd be a lot of fun to do that. But I'll give you my email address before we hang up, or I can route it through Patty, and then let's set. I'm serious. I want to set that up. I think that'd be fun.
Okay.
So,
it's really fun. That was another fun project, and it was the first time that John and I worked together. Even within this trio, and I sort of was the reluctant one at the end.
Yeah, you were.
It was like these two kids. He and Bill, wanted to be, they're like 60-year-old, 12-year-olds coming up with like, let's be the Action Skulls.
No, that's not how it happened anyway. Oh.
That was the abridged version.
Am I going to have to stand between you two?
Yes, you are.
You're going to have to separate it. This is the brother and sister. Right now. I'm not kidding. Anyway, so where was I? No, I wanted the band to be called the Action Figures because I'd always want that name. And the other name was I got from my friend John Hartman, who's an electrician in Ojai, called the Hula Boys. And so those were two good band names for me. And so when I said Action Figures, Bill said he had a skull ring on. He says, "No, man, Action Skulls." And yeah. And she rolls her eyes like a mom in the room,
You two calm down.
We had to talk her into it, but she had the best time when she was in.
Yes,
so she did.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, putting this album together that the song's on, what were some of the surprises that you ran into on this album?
Well, we spent some time figuring out what songs we were going to record.
Yeah.
The surprises in the end, I think, was how we ended up approaching some of them. And I think Come to Me is one of them, actually, because it was such a different version that we started with, which was the version I remember if we talked about with Randy about this story or not, but it came from, we had a cassette recording of a live version of that song that was completely different from the way we've ended up doing it. So at the end, that was kind of a surprise. I mean, it was a surprise in slow motion because, you're figuring it out, working on it and creating this thing from a germ of a song that's, that was something else. Some of the songs we did faithful, or at least we approached in a way that was similar to the original. And when I see the original, the recordings, for instance, like a lot of Bill's songs.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't mess with the arrangements or the sounds of anything.
We learned them from the Blue Shadows recordings, which is another fantastic band that you're readers and listeners should check out. And that was Bill Cowsill's band up in Canada
with Jeffrey Hatcher,
and others. But those we kind of respected the format and the form of, and then some of the ones we kind of played with and messed around with, and that was fun.
We're being creative in the studio, and we got what we got. It was surprise. There was no. I wouldn't use the word surprise though. I just thought it just kind of went from the beginning to the end, and it was really fun. And I only remember the fun stuff, even if there was bad things happening. So, well, you know what I mean. It's like,
yeah.
That's
a good way to program ourselves too, to be, it's too easy to focus on the negative. Why not remember the positive, So,
there wasn't any negative.
No.
I just felt bad for Paul sometimes, because
our producer Paul Allen,
he nicknamed himself Spacebar because I took a long time on a few things, and so I'm going, oh God, but that's par for the course, when you're recording. It's not like a live thing where you just do it once and it's over and it's gone and it's okay. So when you're scrutinizing under the microscope, was that quite right? Was that quite right?
We did this very much in partnership with Paul Allen, who produced this with us, played most of the instruments, to be honest, on this record. And but he would tell you that he just pressed the space bar, which means running Pro Tools. That just means this is what I'm doing. This is what I do.
You say, "Are you guys?" I'd wait for him to tell me, okay, that was good. He'd just say, you done? I don't know, am I? I had to make that decision whether I was done or not.
Yeah, he was making us take the
and then all of a sudden, if it got too dark in the studio, of mood, nobody's having any fun anymore. He'd find something on the internet to send you, and it'd show up on your iPad, because if you're working in the room, your phone's near you, and you stuff. He'd say these awful pictures of horses laughing. You would just lose your crap right there, and it would work every time. He still does it. He still does this to us. He's just a lovely man. God, a lovely person.
What do you hope fans, each of your fans, and then the fans of collectively, get from the album?
Maybe something they didn't expect, and as John was saying, we're both serial band members, so they don't know
what to expect.
Have ever put music out under our own names?
Actually. No, they don't know.
So
we've never sang. Let's talk at the same time. 1, 2, 3, go.
Anyway, I'm saying.
That couch is looking pretty good to you there, John. So
he's not in trouble yet.
No, never.
But anyway, I think there's enough of a through line between Bangles fans, Cowsills fans, Beach Boys fans. There's a lot of harmonies on this record because that's what we do, and
they'll be surprised, I think, because compared to the other things we have done, they're going to hear this and say, "Whoa, I didn't know they could do that, or that they did that." It's very personal. It's very emotional. It comes across in the making and the telling, and I just hope they enjoy it. I mean, because we do.
Yeah.
Nobody hears
it. Comes through the song. It comes through. It really does. As a fan listening, it comes through.
They'll hear it. So
they may not expect some of the real classic country tones on this song, which come through on a lot of Bill's compositions.
Some of my fans know that I lean towards country.
Of course,
though.
John has always recorded country.
Always recorded country. Right. So I don't think it'll be a big surprise to them for that. But to hear me sing so many things will be something they never got to have, because I only sang 1 or 2 songs here or there, and that was it.
Me too.
And that was
members
me
of.
too. It was cute.
Well, I think it's great that it's got the country sound, because God knows country doesn't have a country sound anymore. So somebody's got to fill that gap, and I think there's a huge market for it too. And everybody wants to lump it in with Americana, which okay, great, but why do you think Americana is making this, and it has for several years now, taking this big stand in the music business? Because kids are loving it. Us old timers are loving it.
Oh yeah.
What do you make of that?
Well, it's roots music. It's our version of rap, I think. It covers more than country. It covers folk and more holistic kind of music. Is that the word? More acoustic-y kind of music. More, it doesn't have to be a pop tune. It doesn't have to be
it's usually connected to something emotional, I think. And it's also
singer-songwriter stuff.
Often organic in the instrumentation, acoustic instruments. But just a sideline, I'll just comment that we played in Nashville a few months ago, and a dear friend of ours who lives in Nashville came up to us and said, "Well, you just brought country music back to Nashville."
Oh yeah.
That is a huge compliment.
Yeah. Definitely. That was Randy Liego said that to us.
But it was, and yeah, we identify as Americana, and my previous band, and still continuing band, the Continental Drifters, was also an early Americana band. I'm going to put that in quotes. Again, using sort of a lot of acoustic instruments and harkening back to Graham Parsons and people like that, or the Byrds, Sweethearts of the Rodeo,
and types of music. Yeah, exactly. Like what you're saying.
Country rock.
Because there's When Hearts Collide and Old Timeless, and that's not country, but it's not pop rock. So that would come under the guise of Americana. So it covers what our album is when we use that term. Otherwise, it would be just strictly country if we just stayed to the country side.
But we didn't.
But Barry's not country.
Yeah.
Although you could almost take any song and make it country, I have to say.
Yes,
Yeah.
But it's not, they're not pop songs in the sense that there are 12 people in a room trying to write a hit, and coming up with like, what's our tagline? What's our, who's top lining, and who's going to write the bridge? Who's going to, and it doesn't matter.
I'll get the coffee.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what it says or how it feels, but let's just get it done, get it out there. This is way more personal.
Yeah.
Cool. When does the album come out?
Record Store Day comes out on the 12th, and that's a special edition. And then
on
vinyl with special edition vinyl. And then April 18th is when the actual album comes out for CD, album, streaming, everything, fully out. And that's April 18th. And we're actually doing 2 record release parties, one at McCabe's guitar store
here in Los Angeles,
and that's April 18th. And then we're doing one in New York City at the Cutting Room on May 9th.
Oh,
so
fun.
if anybody hears that out there, come on to either one of those shows, please, because it'll be a hoot. Be fun.
I'll have to get a signed copy of your vinyl one, because you can't see because I've got your album all over behind me, but my office, I've got all sorts of signed albums hanging on the on my wall. So it's my proud collection of albums, and I have books that are autographed by the authors and all that. So I'm big on the signed stuff for nobody's enjoyment but myself. I don't sell them.
Awesome.
So
that's
I'll
my
have to get
pickup
that.
truck. That's my pickup truck we're in.
Did you film the video in that truck too?
That's my truck.
Yeah.
All right.
That's my 1988 Ford F-250 work truck that I used to do carpentry in. And I'll never get rid of it because it was the very first brand new vehicle I've ever bought as an adult in my whole life. And I put another in already. And so it was Pam Springsteen who suggested, because she took some photos along with Henry Diltz around.
Wow.
She says, you need to get that truck into one of these videos or something. So I give that credit to Pam Springsteen for having us do that. Although Henry shot that picture.
That photo's done by Henry Diltz.
But
gosh, what a legend he is, huh?
Yeah, man, right?
We're just determined, and we made about 3 or 4 dates with him when we were living in New York and commuting back to Los Angeles to record off and on, and we kept saying, we got to get Henry. And
he schedules himself, you get Henry on the phone, because we've known him for decades and decades and decades, and he's just the loveliest person.
And we kept missing him, and it's like, oh, I thought you meant January. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I had to be in New York that week, So we finally got him.
He's somebody I've tried to interview. I can't get through to his people. I had a regular feature.
I know people.
I know you do. Gosh, well, you look on my website. Look on my website, and you'll see where I had For 2 years, Bob Gruen was a contributor to my website.
That's amazing, right? Another legend.
Yeah. So he's right there in your backyard.
Had Ringo. You interviewed Ringo.
Okay, kind of, sort of. I sat in on that. I'm good friends with his ex-fiance.
Okay, fair enough.
I got a bunch of others. But I'm serious on the Action Skulls. Did I get that right? Action Skulls. I really want to interview you guys on it. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Let's just do it. Yeah, my email address. I don't want to have you give me yours over the air here, but because I might edit it wrong. But my email address is real simple: Randy, RANDY at Boomerocity.com.
Okay, got it.
And I'm dead serious about it. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I know my viewers would love to see you all together on that. And you guys are fun to interview, so I know it'll translate over to that call as well. But what to wrap this up though, what are you guys planning on doing now that when the album comes out and all that? Are you going to do any touring? You're going to tell me about it.
Well, it's right now there's scattered dates, but we are looking forward to to touring, obviously for the probably not till the fall, but we've got some scattered dates through the spring. We are coming through Nashville in early May to do some television
we just got a booking agent, Dennis Kurtz, and so he's really on board with us and helping right now, just sending us stuff that he can get quickly, and then but we'll get a proper tour going eventually.
We're doing a couple of opening slots with the Smithereens and the Minus Five. So some fun things just for us right now. But we're going to continue on that. That's kind of our next focus, is to really get some good live dates happening.
Well, it'd be great to see you guys out this way. If you perform in Nashville, it's only a 4-hour drive for me. What's 4 hours? I love windshield time.
We're playing Knoxville. It'll be a little closer for you.
Yeah, that would be about an hour from me here.
I know where you are, man. I've played all through with the Beach Boys, so I know.
Yep. In fact, I can I tell you a Brian Wilson story?
Sure.
Oh, please.
So, this was 8 years ago. I reach out to people. Sometimes, a lot of times, people slap me down and say, "Nope, you're not big enough," or whatever. And so I wound up getting scheduled to interview Brian, and it went very quick. I didn't have time to do my research like I wanted to, and they called me early.
Of course.
And I happen to have my recorder with me. It's the shortest interview I ever did. You know how long it lasted? Take a wild guess how long the interview lasted.
2 questions.
38 seconds.
2 minutes. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. It's the shortest interview I ever did.
That's a awesome pop record. That's why.
I love Brian. Brian's awesome, man. I've got stories about the 2012 reunion tour that we did. He was just so lovely. I just love that guy.
He's an institution, and
awesome.
It's
all those guys.
It's going to be a sad day when he leaves us. But man, what he leaves behind is amazing.
He's still here right now. It's all good. He's
good deal. Good deal. Well, you two, it's been a pleasure talking to both of you. A lot of fun. I hope we could do it again. Please, let's keep me on your Rolodex there. Do drop me a note, and let's set up this other one too, because I think it'd be like I keep saying, a lot of fun to get you guys and Bill and the other band members too. And let's just let it roll and have a lot of fun and laugh and tell all the stories and such. Okay.
Sounds great, Randy. Thanks, Randy. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right. You guys stay safe and healthy. All right.
Yep, you too. Be well.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye. This has been another stellar episode of Boomerocity with your host, producer, and friend, Randy Patterson. The theme music is Roll the Dice by our good friend Quentin Hope, and all rights reserved and used by permission, of course. Post-production is done by Cardinal Sins Productions. The Boomerocity name, logo, and content is copyright protected, so all segments may only be used with written consent by Boomerocity and or its assignees. You should direct your inquiries to input@boomerocity.com, and the copyright is 2025.